Hey, what's going on, bootstrappers? Ryan Nickel coming at you with another coaching tip. All right, so this is some skip tracing ninja skills coming at you. I'm going to tell you some of this stuff. So before I do that, though, let me tell you, I just snapped a picture of a house. I got this down to a science, pretty much. I got four rockin' templates that I'm using on Deal Machine. I'm going to do a post here and maybe a little live video training on how I'm using Deal Machine. And don't worry about it. If you guys don't have Deal Machine, not a problem. You can do this on your own. I did this for years myself without Deal Machine, and I purchased a lot of properties, which is why I had these templates that I've been using. So I'll share that with you probably next week sometime. Hey, what's up, Rusty? I'm on my way to see you and Gwen right now, and then it'll be cool. So hey, here real quick, check this tip out. I just got off the phone with the guy. He called me up. It's like, hey man, I'm kind of stuck here. I'm skip tracing all these properties, and I keep on running into LLCs, and I can't find these LLCs. And so I'm going to share with you what I do when I find an LLC and I can't, get stuff going from my normal skip tracing. What's up, Eric? Normal skip tracing methods. So when I find an LLC and the address is going to, it doesn't matter where the address is going, but ideally it's not going to the property, so we'll make sure that's the case. So when I can't find the LLC, the first thing I do is I fire up, now this is very sophisticated, guys, take some notes here, I'll wait for you to get your pen and paper, write this down. I go to Google and I type in the LLC. I know it's advanced stuff here, ladies and gentlemen, but this is what I do. I go to Google and I type in the LLC, and what I'll do is it'll pull a bunch of stuff up. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for any kind of like the state licensing or something on the state that has some kind of information about it. Every state's different, but it'll give you, and there's like all these different like things websites that'll pop up. Like LinkedIn will pop up with the LLC's name if it's very active, if they have something like that, or just something. So I'm looking to see if I can find who the controlling partners are of the LLC, or if it's incorporated or an LLP or whatever it may be. So that's what I do. First thing I do is I Google it, and I'm looking for any kind of phone number associated with it. And you'll be surprised, there are a lot of phone numbers that are associated with LLCs that are out there. Let's say I blank on that. Let's say I Google it, I can't find the LLC, person's name, principal owners, nothing. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go towards the mailing address. So assuming that the property, that the tax records are being mailed to anywhere other than the property, so it's not like LLC something at the same property address, because you get kind of screwed there. But assuming that it goes to a different address, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look that address up and see if it's a building. If it's a commercial building, I'm then going to go ahead and type in that address and see what building, what companies are there in that commercial building if it's not that LLC. If I can find that LLC, great, I'm looking for a phone number again. If I can't, then, or if it's not a commercial building, if it's a residential building, then I will go and look and see who owns that residential house. And I did this before, and a guy that had 15 or 16 different properties he was trying to, actually it wasn't the guy, it was a wholesaler was telling me that he was working with this seller and all these properties, and then I found out that they're going to some other dude way across town anyway, I found his information. So that's one thing you can do, is you can find out who owns those properties. And when you do that, you can then go ahead and just, rock and roll, find that owner, contact him that way. But let's say that you blank on both of those, and it's just the state information. You can't find any phone numbers for this LLC. You can't find any kind of information on the mailing address. So the next thing that I'll do is I'll go down and either to my county recorder's office, or I can pull some of this information out online, and I look at any of the, if it's a grant deed, you can't really do anything because they're the ones that they're receiving the property, so they don't have a signature there. But if there's any kind of mortgage or trust deed that's taken out on the property, I'm going to see who's actually signing for that. If there's any kind of underlying finance on this property, I'm going to find a principal owner there. I'm going to find their name, because they're going to have to sign for that promissory note or that mortgage or anything like that. So that's what I'm looking for. That's the third and final way. Usually after I've exhausted all three of those, I've come up with a reason, or I've come up with something, a phone number, something that I can go ahead and dive into. And that's one of the things I do when I'm skip tracing, man. When you got to get serious on really, peeling back the layers, trying to find out what you can do to find this person, especially if it's a great deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and recap for you right now. When you find an LLC and you draw a blank, you want to go ahead and just automatically, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna search Google. After you search Google, exhausted Google, type, you're going to type in the variations of that LLC. You're going to type in variations of the property address or the mailing address if it's different, and see what comes up. You can search the database. You can search your state's LLC database to find out who the registered owners are of that LLC. So step number 1 is to research it. Step number 2 is reverse engineer where the mailing address is going to, if it's not the property. And then step 3 is to find any kind of underlying finance documents to see exactly what's out there and who's the signing principal partner, because then you can go ahead and start searching that person and try to find them. And I've done all 3 very successfully, and I've been able to find what I've been looking for. So anyway, I'm Ryan Nickel, guys. This is one of those ninja badassery tricks that you guys can get out there and start finding some properties, or at least their owners, if you're skip tracing them. Because just remember, you're one deal away from changing your entire financial future, and this is a great tip and tool to use to go ahead and find that person so that deal can be your deal. All right, I'll see y'all later.